You are along for the ride with the Mad Dog and Cole. I don't know who I am. Farrell.
Crashing is winning, just later.
I decided to fly through the air and live in the sunlight and enjoy life as much as I could, and that's just what I'm doing.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure? Stay calm.
All right, man. Holy cow. Here we go. Big props to the man that decided to fly motorcycles through the air and live in the sunshine, our boy Evil Knievel. Thank you so much for introducing us the way you did. Uh, yeah, what a guy. Hey, man, dude.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. You look good. You look rested.
A little more rusty. Got my voice back for the most part. She's still kind of in and out, but not near as bad as it was. So, let me know if I'm blowing you out on the audio. Uh, but yeah, man, just wow, super exciting. I was home for a day and then off on the next adventure. So we're going to go along for the ride on that in just a minute, right after we be sure and thank Kicker Performance Audio, our partner, longtime partner of mine. I am so grateful to have them on board. Kicker.com. You can find anything for audio needs for your boat, side by side, car, truck, golf cart, motorcycle, just about even headphones, earbuds, which I know Cole uses all the time. I use my EB200 Bluetooth earbuds all the time. Just love them. So kicker.com, of course, bombereyewear.com, bomber floating eyewear. Man, these glasses are just unbelievably tough. I think I told you I'd switched to away from my Monastery's boogie bombs that I'm wearing now. Not that you can tell on the radio, so never mind. Someday you'll be able to tell. But anyways, I wore Tiger bombs at Camp Razor, thinking, oh man, they're just going to get trashed. And I'll tell you what, I mean, they went through, basically 9 or 10 days of hell, and they're not a scratch on them. They've hit the ground. They've been sweated on profusely. They've been covered in sweaty sand. Little wash up, but man, they look like brand new. So they're durable. The Levi's of sunglasses and safety eyewear, bombereyewear.com. The Premix podcast, of course, our boy Cole's side gig. Yeah, man, desert needs, desert racing stuff. Check out the Premix podcast. Give them a like, give them a follow, and I think you'll like what you see. So, how are you doing? What do you got today?
Man, nothing a whole lot going on. Biggest thing in my life is that we took a little desert trip up to Big Bear, dropped down the backside into Johnson Valley where my property is back there, and just enjoyed our Sunday. If you can believe it, I gave up the NASCAR final race on TV, of course, to go actually do something in real life.
Wow.
So that was a pretty big deal.
Look at
Somebody
you,
who
adventure
doesn't leave
boy.
the house.
Doesn't leave the house. Yeah.
The Ranger ran like a champ. I hit
Good.
something so hard at one point it knocked the wheel out of my hands.
Nice.
The wheels and the BFG tires held up. Not a partner, just a big fan of them. So thank you for getting me home, BF Goodrich.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, it looked like you shot me some pictures. It looked like it was a pretty good time out there. Just kind of a wheeling and a funning.
Yep. Just being fire road assassins and cleaning up other people's trash and enjoying the views and not getting in the way of the hunters. So no, it was a beautiful, beautiful Sunday afternoon out here in SoCal.
Awesome. Hey, just real quick, I believe this is episode 13. Are we going to call it episode 14 or are we going to call it episode 13?
Why? Because of superstitions.
Yeah.
I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
Okay, cool. 13 it is. So we're gonna go through a quick recap of my SEMA adventure, and then I think we're gonna go on to some racing superstition stuff just in honor of episode 13. How do you feel
That's
about
pretty
that?
cool. Yeah, we didn't plan this. That's
No,
pretty
I
fun.
I've been thinking about it since this morning. Figured I'd just spring it on you and see what you thought.
No, that's cool.
I
I'm
figured if
excited.
you said, "Oh, that's some lame ass shit," that you could cut it out later.
No,
So,
because there's a lot, so
right?
it'll be good.
So, let's get right into the meat and potatoes
Yeah, let's
of
talk SEMA.
SEMA. Dude, as you know, I got home from Camp Razor, um, had the afternoon to kind of catch up. Had the next day off, which I believe that's when we recorded episode 12. Got up the next morning, was in Vegas by just after 10. Um, Picked my passes up. Kicker had me hooked up with passes. They took very good care of me. I'm very grateful uh, that they were so giving for me and the Viking. Viking went with me, her first SEMA. Um, Dude, we got over to the booth, check things out. What an incredible, incredible display. That Bronco is just as sick in person as it looks in the pictures. Unfortunately, they weren't demoing it right at that point because they had a couple of tweaks they still had to do. But this thing is so over the top. It's got 9 of the new Kicker Solo X 15-inch subwoofers in the back. Um, both back doors open up, and there's amp racks built in there.
Holy cow!
Yeah, the entire back lower section, which I think you saw the picture, it looks kind of like billet with a bunch of nuts on it and stuff. Those are actually all individual lithium ion, like I think 3.8-volt lithium ion batteries,
Oh, whoa. Okay.
like 72 of them. Yeah, when it does play, it is going to be insane. I would be surprised if it was anything under 150 or 155 decibels. So it's going to be sick, you
That's some
know.
that's some quick quality hearing loss right there.
Yeah, and it's well built. The guys at the Kicker, they call it the Fab Shop. I call them the Skunk Works. Um, do have done some incredible stuff, and just beautiful. Uh, so I was really stoked about that. My good buddy Jimmy Davis from JD Glassworks had a C10 standard cab, short wide, in the booth. Also there at Kicker. Um, wow. All I can say is wow. I know you saw the pictures, and the pictures don't even do it justice on how nice it is. It's just he specializes in C10s and semis,
Interesting.
and does basically, full on hot rod builds. Um, that one's a back half, it's bagged. Um, Dude, it's so clean. They shaved all the drip rails off. The those early, like the 70 C10s, the cabs were kind of a weird corner. And they smoothed all that out, changed the angle of the back of the cab
Wow, what a
corner.
ton of work that is.
Oh, it's got to be 2 years of work, but beautiful. Um, and of course, Kicker had a bunch of their brand new product in there, which I'm going to touch on in a minute. And they had on display their new Hummer EV, um, which proudly sports the Pro uh, what do they call it? Pro tailgate, GM Pro.
Where it like flips out six
Yeah,
times and yeah, it's got a handle and
yeah, and Kicker's partnered with GM to do the audio in the tailgate, full um, dedicated like contractor special or workman special, where you've got a full Kicker Bluetooth audio system in the tailgate, in the part that flips out. It's really, really sick. Um, that being said, the Hummer's super clean. It looks very appealing.
they're
It's still,
massive.
yeah, it's heavy, really heavy because it's all electric. For me, it's pretty much a big waste of lithium batteries and electric motors. Um, was my first question to GM was, what's the at maximum towing capacity? What's the range at freeway speeds? The best estimate they could give me was somewhere around 60 or 70 miles.
Yeah. I, that's very easy to believe
Yeah,
because I,
useless.
yeah, I may or may not have snuck into the Ford F-150 Lightning owners group on Facebook, and a guy was towing his boat empty, and he made about 54 miles. And the first question somebody asked was, "Why would you tow a boat that far?" And he said, "Well, it's 25 miles to the lake each way from my house. That's why I tried to tow it that far."
Yeah, I would say wah, 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 useless, but that's just my opinion. And, you know, I mean, and I'm not an absolute hater, just to be clear, not
Me
an
neither. Nope.
absolute hater on electric vehicles or hybrids. Um,
Let's just get the story straight, you know?
yeah, yeah,
That's all I care.
let's
Let's just,
call it what it is, worthless,
yeah.
pretty and worthless. Um, kind of like, well, never mind. I'm not going to go there, but you know what I mean. Um,
But here's silver lining before you make fun of me. No,
I'm not making fun of you.
I still dream car. I still want an H1. Like that's if I win the Powerball, I'm getting, USMC issued H1, bringing it home.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Everything after that was trash. But now I'll put that Lightning, or not the Lightning, the electric one at a second place over everything else Hummer's done.
Wow.
Just
Wow.
because the Soccer Mom H2 and H3 is not even worth.
Yeah, no.
I don't want an electric Hummer. I'm just saying I'll give them a little, I don't know, pat on the back.
I mean, the bottom line is who doesn't want an electric Hummer?
Me. Oh,
Yeah, no, seriously. And I'm not hating on electric vehicles or as a time joke. Um, I'm not hating on electric vehicles or anything like that. I mean, I've driven a buddy of mine's Tesla. I think it's Model S.
the cool one. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, real sloopy four-door sedan, um, in ludicrous mode, um, and 0 to 60 to zero in somewhere roughly felt like 2 seconds. I'm sure it was more like three or four,
They
but
feel fake. They feel like a roller coaster.
yeah, the acceleration is just unbelievable, and there's something to be said for that. If I just want to do acceleration burn, stoplight to stoplight, there's a use,
Yep.
but um, anything beyond that, I'm just not on that train. Um, Give me carbon fuel. But anyways, that was a dangerous sidebar. So we're back to the booth. It was really, really cool. They had a beautiful setup, a lot of new product. They've released some new product, of course, the Solo X, which has been the talk for over a year, coming back. Legendary subwoofer, and I can tell you, it's monster. It's just beast. Beyond that, go to their website, kicker.com, and check out the specs. Yeah, man, just a lot of really cool product. Uh, Great display. Jeremy and the gang did a great display. It looked fantastic. A lot of traffic. It was right at the hallway entrance into the North Hall. So lots and lots of traffic. It was really cool. And officially I wasn't there working the booth. I was just kind of there as a guest and support. So um, I had some time to walk around a little bit, but man, it's like every time I started to go somewhere, someone else I know would show up in the booth. So we did get a little bit of walk around time. We were only there Thursday and Friday. Um, and so we got out and saw the Central Hall Thursday afternoon, got to spend some time over there and check out some of the insane builds. Um, really, some really cool stuff. And then Friday, they shut it down at 3 this year.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, so um, we got out to the SEMA Ignited display, which is where Jeff and Sean from Elite Audio Havasu, Jeff, Sean, and Christine had the kicker boat, which we've talked about in the past, just insane. Had it out there, far, far parking lot off the South Hall, where they had the all the sound vehicles. Um, so we got to take in that a little bit, got to see a little bit of the burnouts, and then walked over to the back of the South Hall, um, and caught the Tesla Connect tunnel over to as far to the far West Hall West parking lot, and then walked back through the West Hall. Um, so I think we are doing 22 to 24,000 steps a day. Uh,
That's awesome. That's huge.
yeah, it was super cool. Viking, of course, had never seen anything like that. So it was like just, I mean, she was blown away, it's like nonstop car after car after car. And I ran into a lot of people I know, a lot of kicker personalities. Matter of fact, when we showed up on Thursday, um, Sean from Street Outlaws was there.
Oh,
And
cool.
so I was able to say hi to him, introduce a Viking to him, which was really cool. Um, the let me see, was that? Yeah, I think Thursday the JD Glassworks crew came by also. And I had done an event with them in Lubbock, not last year, year before. Super nice guys. So really got to know them and, develop a friendship. So we hung out and talked. And it's funny because uh, Jimmy was telling me that the truck that they built, um, that was in the kicker display was actually, I believe it was his dad's or his wife's dad's truck
Oh,
originally.
wow.
Yeah.
I had some heritage.
Yeah. So, whatever the case, whose ever dad's it was, the other one's dad had a C10 also, and they still have that truck, and that was in another booth at SEMA.
That's pretty sick to have not one, but multiple vehicles with family origins and the world's largest automotive show.
Yeah, it was really cool. And so yeah, man, Thursday just like blasted by. It was just crazy, busy, busy, and trying to get some walking in, see some stuff. That was really cool. Uh, had dinner with some of the kicker crew Thursday night at
Nice.
we stay at the Orleans, so there's this Irish pub right across the street, and they always have good food, So definitely had a good time there. Uh, Called it a night. I got up Friday morning, went down to get a couple of pastries and some coffee for the Viking and I. And coming out of the coffee shop, I think it was a Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory or something. I don't know. Anyway, coming out of there, uh, I ran into Aaron Hagar, who I'd met somewhat briefly, but visited with very shortly at Kicker one time when I was there at headquarters. And of course, he has his red voodoo build is in the museum at Kicker. So it's pretty rad. Um, and if you don't know, on top of being Sammy Hagar's son, Aaron Hagar is an incredibly gifted car builder and runs what's called Aaron Hagar's Rat Rods and Runners or something like that. Um, I should look it up so I don't screw it up too bad. But super nice. I got to meet his wife and we stood there and visited for a while. And I'm like, all right, well, I got to go. So
That's
just,
cool.
yeah, really rad dude. And later in the day, we ran into him at the booth. We went back to the Kicker booth that morning and ran into him there a little bit later in the day and was able to introduce the Viking to him and got a good picture with her with him and also got to see my buds from Pro Audio uh, in Mississippi, Richland, Mississippi, and they do some just insane audio stuff with everything and surprisingly his name is Jimmy also, Jimmy Ham, and his kid Peyton and his family, who I got to meet at Kicker Country Stampede, I think a couple of years ago, and visit with them. So we're able to hang out and it was super cool. I actually spent the night in Richland, Mississippi early this year on my way to American Flat Track Daytona. Um, and I sent him a picture of his shop and a message and said, "Where you at, homie?" And he was out of town.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I was literally like a mile down the road from his shop and he was out of town. So, but I'm hoping to get him. He just got done building a really bitchin' pontoon or tri-tune, and so I'm hoping I'm poking him, trying to get him bring it out here to Havasu, um, which would be super cool. So, but yeah, man, I mean, SEMA just dude, Kicker treated me like a king, treated us like kings and queens. Um,
Nice.
I went in and helped pack up because I couldn't just do like be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know me.
Not a spectator.
Right. So I went in and helped pack up on Saturday, which was really cool because they had, all these racks. I don't know what they had, like six maybe racks of displays. Just about everything they make was on display. And so out for the general public to, touch it, lick it, feel it, smell it, which was really cool. But we boxed everything up, and I felt like we were pretty efficient in getting it done, getting the booth packed down. Yeah, and then, uh, man, went to lunch, and that was pretty much a wrap on SEMA. And then Viking and I went down to Fremont
Nice.
because our good friend BC Vott, um, currently marketing, kind of doing events and marketing for GBC Tires, Canadi Tires. Um, but also, he's been in motorsports. He's an accomplished racer. Um, Man, he's an accomplished iRacer. Also, one of the original members of Heb PE, a band out of Dear to You, Huntington Beach.
Yep.
And multiple hits. Go check it out if you like hardcore rock a rap a punk. Go check it out. Their early albums, super good. If I want to get in the, if I need something to just kick me in the ass, I put the Broke album on and it
Put on
just,
some head PE.
yep,
Turn up the kickers and
yep,
let the chaos ensue.
yes, sir. You know it. So, yeah, he's with a new band now. After years and years off, and I can tell you the dude hasn't lost anything. course, you saw him play, I think, at UTV Invasion.
Yep, he got
Yeah,
invited up to play. Uh, what was it? It was the song "Square Hammer" by Ghost. I'll never
yep,
forget it. Yep.
yeah, yeah. I think he ended up playing almost a whole set with them. That was the band Volts,
Yep.
the Volts, and super rad. There's a great story behind that we'll get to it someday. Um, but here's this literal rock star playing with 15 and 16-year-old kids that were
In the
good
middle of Idaho.
in the middle of the desert in Idaho. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, we so he's with a new band now called Breaking in a Sequence or Bias. And they played our homeowners Fourth of July party here. Um, and they've been practicing. And of course, Wes Miller had the Huevos reunion this year, right after the weekend after SEMA. Um, Monster quad race, big money on the line. Um, all the best of the best, new and old quad riders. Not to call you guys old, because I know you guys can still throw it down. Um, and then they wrapped the whole thing by having a Huevos reunion party and live concert at Backstage Bar and Billiards on Fremont Street,
That looked
Six
like a
and
good
Fremont.
time.
Dude, it was great. And they had Human, they had Mug, they had Non-Point,
Oh man, I
and
like Non-Point.
yeah, yeah, and of course Bias breaking in a sequence, and um, so it was fun. And we kind of BC, I'm not the guy that asks for anything, so we bought early entrance tickets because I want to support my brother.
Absolutely.
And and then he was kind enough to hook us up once we got inside, got Viking with backstage passes and whatnot. It was really cool. Um, I saw so many of our old quad guys um, and friends in the industry that, dude, it was it was just triple awesome. And the concert was great. Um, and at one point on the Bias concert, what is it? Wes Greer from Original Guitars from Head PE jumped up on stage with BC, and dude, their chemistry, it was just, it was like shaking a bottle of nitro. I mean, it was so good. And Bias is so tight to begin with, and then to bring somebody in, and holy cow, it was just so entertaining, man. um that was a great time. And I got to, Colton Moore was there, who we've
Oh,
talked
cool.
about,
Nice.
and his dad Wade. I finally got to meet his mom Michelle. um Wade and I are great friends, but I'd never met Michelle, so that was really cool. uh Nick Nelson, who did a lot of the stunt driving. um I call it the crash test dummy stuff for XP1K, I think 1 and 2 and 3, maybe for RJ. And Nick was doing the test out stuff in a crash car, basically, to see if it worked. Yeah, and he's a rad dude, great quad racer, very involved in the industry, great journalist. So it was cool to see him. Um, yeah, there's just Wes Miller hosted the whole thing, which, you know, Wes is just a rad dude. It's a lot of fun. Um, man, there's just so many people. I can't even, like, Corey Ellis was there. Um, I didn't see the big Swede, your favorite
He was
Swede.
there.
Um,
I saw both of you posting photos nearly at the same time, but I'm sure it was such a big party that
it was huge.
you
So
know.
the music was awesome. The vibe was unbelievable. It was great to see so many people in the industry, that just, I haven't seen in 2 or 3 years. It was
Well,
just
shoot, between SEMA and the party, I mean, you must have known everybody in Vegas that weekend.
that's what Viking thought, but I really didn't. But it's funny because when we got to the hotel, it was like 10:15 or something, and I said, "Well, it's Vegas. We should be able to go ahead and check in, and I need to pick up our credentials." So I went to the bell desk, got the credentials, went check in, um, and within 2 minutes of being at the check-in desk, I ran into one of the kicker reps from Texas that I'd done American Flat Track with earlier this year, and then turned around and ran right into one of the regional sales managers for kicker, Lori, and I just love seeing her. She's just such a great person, and Pete was truly a surprise and nice to see, and so
That's cool.
it was crazy just walking around SEMA, and it's like just running into people I know, and hey, how are you doing? Yeah, good, man, good to see you. Yeah, yeah. So even at the hotel, and just seemed like everywhere we went, so it was super rad. And the concert was just, I mean, I can't even explain it. It was so off the hook. It was so good. Felt so blessed to be involved, or at least be there.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, man, it was crazy. So then we wrapped it up, called it a night, and loaded up the next morning and headed back to Havasu. So
Now I don't know if you know this. I might outsmart you on something here. Do
yeah.
you know what the Orleans Hotel was the first host of? That's the best way I can word it. They were the first hotel to host something nearly 15 years ago.
PRCA rodeo,
Close.
uh,
Enduro cross.
endurocross.
That
Okay,
that's where it all
nice.
that's the mecca right there.
Huh.
And of
I'll be
course now
damned.
they still do the works race and
Yep. Yeah.
um, arena cross a few years. So yeah, I've never been there, but I respect the hell of it already for having racing.
Yeah. You should stay there sometime. I mean, it's dated, but it's fun. I mean, it's an old beater. I'm not gonna lie, it's an old beater casino, but
Old taste of Vegas.
yeah, 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 for sure. And but the Gator Bar, the Alligator Bar, everybody fondly calls it the Gator Bar. That's where everybody meets. And if you get bored at 10 o'clock at night, you feel like you want to talk to somebody, you just go down and wander around the Gator Bar and the Mardi Gras Bar, and I guarantee you'll find somebody
Yep.
in the industry. So, um, yeah, man, that was a good trip. It was definitely a good trip. Um, so much fun. Did so much in such a small time frame. Super cool. Oh yeah, we had the production, actual assembly line production, Speed UTV with the factory kicker OEM audio in it in the booth also. So
Sweet.
that was definitely kind of a boot stomp statement on Kicker's involvement in the UTV and intentions in the UTV industry. Um, I got to see my buddy Colin Ross, who was one of my road dogs when I was helping out SSV, um, and my buddy Chris that worked at SSV also, and they're both with another audio company now. But it was great to see them and catch up.
Nice.
And my buddies from Sony asking me how I was liking the XAV 9500 ES, and me giving them my honest opinion. Um, and they're still working on stuff for me. They are getting it sorted out. I think a lot of the issue is that I'm Droid, and um, it is what it is. I'm not changing, so they're going to have to fix it.
That's what drives innovation.
Yes,
People
absolutely.
keeping their heels dug.
Yep, Yep, for sure. So, um, yeah, man. Other than that, man, what an adventure! And then here we are home for a few days. Trucks in. Captain America is in at Lowry's diesel truck service in Lake Havasu. If you have a diesel big rig RV truck, man, check out Lowry's. They're good. They're honest. They're patriots. They're good people. Um, really appreciate them. Um, yeah, so just getting a little maintenance done on the truck. And other than that, dude, I'm getting ready for Sand and Water Expo. I
Yeah, that's what I was
thought,
gonna say. Yeah.
yeah, I thought I was going to be doing the Endurocross AMA Pro Endurocross season championship race in Reno. That was originally on my schedule. Um, they finally released the dates for the Sand and Water Expo 2022 Sand and Water Expo Havasu, and that's falls the same weekend. And so I am going to be working right here in Havasu that weekend, which is kind of nice. Was a great show last year. I think we'll be partnering with Gator Wraps again,
Oh, cool.
which is always fun. Um, and it's a really good show. Um, so looking forward to that here in I think setup's about a week from now. So and we'll get another recording in before that. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
if you're going to be in the area or you have interest in sand and water, the show dates are the actually 18th and 19th, Friday and Saturday of November. So um, if you get out, swing by and say hi for sure. So
Where's the main area for that show? Where's it?
Windsor 4.
Okay.
So right there, um, straight across from Crazy Horse, straight across the channel from Crazy Horse. So
Very
uh,
cool.
yeah, it's a beautiful setting on top of everything else. So
It's about 800 miles closer to home than Reno as well.
yes. And so looking for, and probably a few degrees warmer also, hopefully. Um, so yeah, man. Other than that, all right. So how we doing on time? You watching me?
Yeah, we're about 45 in. Yeah.
Okay, so we got a little time to cover. So episode 13, dude, what was it? Monday night, Tuesday night was a full moon. We're doing episode 13. Superstitions. Racing superstitions. Let's go with those, not just general any day.
No, those are
Like,
stupid. Race because racing is life. So,
yes, exactly.
all right, I'll
Exactly.
start with one. I already have one ready to
Hit
go.
me. Hit me.
A lot of guys in the motorcycle world have to put on a certain boot before the other. And if not, they either take off both boots or they have to completely redress. That's a big one, especially in motocross.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't I think maybe I knew that, but I'm not sure. I know that getting on the bike from the same side all the time is quite especially motorbikes is quite superstitious for some people.
Well, plus it would just be weird to get on the other side. I wouldn't even know how to throw my left leg over a bike, to be honest.
um yeah, when I ran the road bikes, I always got on from the left side,
Oh, yeah.
you
That's
know.
pretty natural.
There's just no, like, even if there was somebody standing there, like with the other bike on the grid, I
You
would
move them.
shove it. Yeah, I would move them. Yeah. Yeah. Um, so all right, I got one for you. So when I was building circle track cars, Uh, I wore the same pair of wool socks all 10 years to every race.
That's pretty superstitious.
Yeah.
That's super duper suspicious.
Yeah. I still have them.
Well, you might need them again someday.
They're synthetic wool. They've got holes in them. They've got burn holes in them from like welding at the track, burning through the top of my sneakers. Um, yeah, dude, it was at the point that I had to wear another pair of socks underneath them, but where I still wore those. Like you couldn't not wear those.
If they weren't with you, I doubt you'd be able to function at the track.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I wasn't going to risk it. You know, just wasn't worth the risk. Um, you got another one?
I got another one. So
All
this
right.
one comes directly from Mike Farrell, my dad. But if say you're out riding, you never say, "Okay, this is my last ride for the day." You never use last ride. Those words
Yeah.
don't come out of your mouth.
Yep. Yep. The I got one when you're
Okay.
doing photo shoots and video shoots, especially side by sides, but bikes too. And I can tell you for 100% on big racing utility quads, high power racing utility quads. When the photographer says, "Let's get one more,"
Oh no, two
you
more.
don't stop. Yeah, two more or none. Like you
Yep.
never fall for that. Let's get one more because things go to shit instantly,
When you get the
guaranteed.
camera confidence going.
Yep, yep, yep. So
All right.
yeah,
This may or may not fall under the superstitious category, but checking the petcock 900 times when you're on the line.
that might just fall into being prepared. You know,
Yeah,
it's like yeah, maybe borderline OCD,
that's probably a better way to put it as OCD.
but um, but yeah, I don't know that that's superstitious. Um, but yeah, there's let me see. You got any more?
Man, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of all the things that I would do naturally and wouldn't know why I do them. I just do them because that's what a superstition is.
I had yeah, a lot of I wasn't really superstitious when I was young, but when I started racing circle track cars, I picked up a lot of superstition. Never, ever, ever had a green race car.
Oh, I remember. I think you told me that like one of the first times we even met.
Yeah, yeah, it's just bad luck.
Yeah, but where did that come from?
It's bad luck,
But you're a Cowie guy.
but you don't have a green race car. Green race bike
So
is
if you had a
okay.
Terex race car, would you have like a black Terex car?
Yes,
All right.
preferably something more like I personally um with Fat Cat Racing, we ran our colors were solar orange and black. Um the banana boat that I built, that was the Impala. Um yeah, 71, 72 Impala, two-door hardtop, super tanker. It was a $500 claimer car. It was yellow with black because that's the way the 16-year-old driver wanted it. She wanted it yellow. Um, so we called it the banana boat. Um, and when we started racing sportsmen, we went to blue and white. Um, when when I stepped away from Fat Cat and went to Team Progressive Custom Wheels and karting, uh, we ran a purple, yellow, white fade that I
That's pretty
painted.
rad. That's
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah. And then we went to that after karting. Then we went, same guys, same team, went to Circle Track and I built that Volvo 70, 70 or 71 Volvo 142, mini stock, basically full cage. Uh, and I decided that that should be purple and yellow.
Yeah, that's rad.
And so that was our colors all the way through street stocks. And then, of course, children and all that, and end of circle track racing for me. But yeah, we were basically purple and yellow. It was kind of a deeper purple, not a royal purple. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, here's a good one. And this still stands. A lot of guys won't run 13. They do not like the number.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
think it's powerful to run that number because you're saying, I'm not worried.
Yeah. I don't know that I've run it. Not that I'm superstitious, really, but there's so many other numbers to choose from.
It's just not my number. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's not my gig. There's been a lot of successful number 13s. So,
Yeah.
and to be honest, there's been a lot of successful green race cars too. So,
Yeah. Interstate Batteries, number 18, Bobby Labonte.
yep,
First one that comes to mind.
yep, for sure. So, I mean, hey, there's the mellow yellow of Cole Trickle. I mean, or
City
City
Chevrolet.
Chevrolet. Sorry, the mellow yellow was Kyle Petty.
But
in a
also
real
Cole
car,
Trickle
but also
at
Cole
the
Trickle.
at the 500 at the end of the movie.
Correct. Yep. So, yeah, but dude, I know racers that are so superstitious. For me, you couldn't, like, on lineup. I didn't want anybody to talk to me.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I'm already a nervous wreck. Like, I want to be able to even control the conversation at that moment. Leave me
Right.
alone.
Once I put the bucket on, it was like everybody knew, you don't talk to me, you don't touch me. My bike chief or my crew chief were the only ones that were allowed, and they were supposed to slap me in the helmet twice hard, and that's it. you know. Um, when I was racing, whether it be carts or mini stocks or street stocks with Dave, uh, they called him Dave Rojas. They called him El Toro Loco.
I remember that.
Yeah, dude he had so much talent. It was it was a classic story of he didn't know how to tell me what the car was doing. Because he didn't know what it was doing. So we had to kind of develop our own language about
Yeah.
how things were working. But we won a lot of races together. We did a lot of cool stuff together. And with him, I always, 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 whether he was in the cart or strapped into the car, reached in right before, like, for instance, in the cart, reach down, two pats right on the front of the left shoulder. Just two good solid pats and a punch on the shoulder, a little tap on the shoulder. That was it. They knew that was to turn the switch on with him, basically.
Gotcha. That was your flow,
Yeah, yeah.
your routine.
Yeah, and then when we went to circle track from carts, it was that, and then the window net went up.
Game time.
Yeah, and he wouldn't let anybody but me put the window net up or take it down.
I like
So-
that rule. No, I'd do the same.
He wore green socks every race.
But it's not a green car, so that's what's
Right.
important. Yeah.
That was just his thing. So, yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of different superstitions, racing superstitions. I've seen a lot of stuff, and I wish I could remember more of what I've seen. Off-road racers are often they won't admit it, but they're very superstitious, you know.
Yeah, I think Ivan Stewart was very like he had his stuff, and obviously he was incredibly successful and probably the goat of off-road racing. I think if you're unpacking this, it's got to be that obviously it's with calculated risk, but inherently compared to chess, racing is so dangerous that there's things that you're trying to control. So whether it's the same socks every time, or how you put your boots on, or who puts up you're trying to get a handle on what you can control.
You know, that's a great analytical breakdown. Um, I think you may be right. I hadn't really thought of it that way, you know. It's just like these are the things that you do, you know,
Yeah.
to me. Like, oh yeah, I gotta wear these socks because if I don't, we might crash and die. Um, you know,
Yeah,
so
it's
uh, you
I
got it. That's how I looked at it, you know.
I mean that's intense, but at least you know what you're about, son.
Right, right. It's like, okay, you know, I'm helping like, you know, even like non-racing, but when I fly, um, I still like like I used to with the race cars, I still pat the airplane every
Yeah.
time I get on, you know,
Yeah.
and say hi.
Yeah.
Which
it's the machine. It's the
yeah, getting
gotta say
one with the
hello.
machine, you know, it's I talk to race cars all the time and race vehicles.
They have emotions.
Yeah, I was always talking to them, you know, and they're in my mind, they're live, right? Maybe people don't want to live in my mind, and I can't blame them. Half the time, I don't want to live in my mind. Um, difference is, I don't have a choice, people.
Well, here we'll unpack this one little bit farther.
All
Since
right,
it's episode 13 and we just passed Halloween and all this, it's like I believe you when you say that cars and vehicles and things are alive, and I believe that material things can hold emotion. So if you treat your car horribly and you never vacuum it and you treat it like a tool, it's gonna treat you badly back. If you love it and serenade it, it's gonna talk to you.
yep, I agree with you. I agree with you.
And no one's gonna talk me out of that. No way.
No,
If I bought an
no,
identical truck to what I have, it's not going to be at all the same. I don't know anything about it. I don't. And they could be mechanically one for one. It's like, no, I don't. I don't know this guy. I don't know this girl.
yep, yeah. How weird is that? But yeah, that was something, you know, when I was building chassis and stuff, and it's funny because you know, I don't know. I always think of you know, Harry on Days of Thunder, Harry when he's talking to the car. And that's like everybody's like, oh yeah, whatever, you know, it's such this is a parody or whatever. But honestly, people, if you haven't been there, you probably wouldn't understand. But most of us that build things like that talk to them.
Yeah.
They develop as especially like when I was building chassis and full cars, it's like you develop it sounds dumb, but you develop a relationship with that car,
No, you
right?
absolutely do.
So you know, no, it's not haunted, but yes, it does have a personality, and if you don't treat it right, you know, it's like anything else, you know. It's just as unstable as your chick, you
Yeah.
know. You don't treat it right, you're going to find out real
You find out
quick.
real quick when you're in the wall.
Exactly. So, yeah, no, anyway. Yeah,
No,
I
and I
just
think I think our audience, they'll completely understand. If you're listening to the show, I would be damned to think you disagree with that statement.
right.
You know?
I I would hope not. You know, and to that point, thank you all for listening. We're growing, we're continuing to grow. I'm humbled by the growth and the amount of people I think when we announced episode 12, I think when I announced episode 12, um, man, we had a bunch of downloads in the first hour.
Yeah.
And I got a report on that. I'm sure you did too. Um, I was super stoked. I mean, we're still a little tiny microcosm in the world of whatever this is. Certainly not journalism, but we're here to have fun, And
Yeah. And, as this thing grows, like I said last episode, if you have something to promote or something you want to talk about, like open forum, open community, let's have a chat. Let's talk some racing.
yeah, hit us up. Hit us up at MAddOG, MAddOG_media, MEDIA on Insta. Send me a message, or at the Premix Podcast.
All one
THE
word. Yep.
Premix, PREMIX podcast. You can figure out all one word. Yeah, send us a message. Don't be afraid to hit us up and say, hey, or if you go, I just want to be on this show.
Yeah.
These guys are having so much fun. Dude, send us a message. We'll
Dude,
try and
let's
work
party.
it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on
We're
that
gonna
note,
get-
it sounds like we have some pretty awesome guests coming up. Maybe even start next episode. So please stay tuned.
Yeah, we've got I've got some good guests lined up, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. It's gonna be hopefully really enlightening, and always gonna be a party, So with that, I think I want to shout out to my boys at Trailers Direct of Springfield, Jeremy and the crew. Dude, thank you again. It's been a real honor to become friends, especially through such a bad situation. Thanks for making my life better. Man, I want to thank Cole. Dude, you are a master. I so greatly appreciate everything you do, man. And the Premix Podcast for supporting us and continuing to help us grow. Of course, Kicker Audio for all your 12-volt audio needs or personal audio needs. Kicker.com. Bomber Eyewear at bombereyewear.com. Bomber Floating Eyewear. You can even get these cool ones like I'm wearing, the Mono Series Boogie Bombs with an OSHA approved ANSI 87 safety lens that's polarized, which is what I wear because hashtag lake life. And polarized is the key to everything out here. So
Yeah.
You can even get prescription, which I own a couple of pairs of prescription. Am I getting peep pops off of my mic?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. I got a little weird pop. Just in case. So, okay, cool. I think that's about where we're going to wrap. I think we got everybody thanked, don't we?
Absolutely. Thank you for taking me along this venture.
Yeah, dude, I'm so grateful that you chose to come along for the ride with us. I want to give a special shout out to Jeremy, Sandy, Josh, Tim, Chase, Roger, Bill, John, all the key people, Ron from Kicker, that helped make Vikings first SEMA and yet another SEMA for me so memorable. Of course, BC, dude, brother, keep rocking the free world, bias band. Man, thank you for such an entertaining evening. Wes Miller, great job putting all that stuff on, man. We are going to have Wes on the show at some point if I can ever slow him down. So, yeah, dude, just stellar. Thank you to everybody that listens. Give us a download. Episode 13. Hopefully, it'll be a lucky one for you. And with that, I think we're going to skip the rapid fire tonight.
Yep. That works.
I know you got some stuff that you need to get off and do.
Yeah, I'm actually still working right now.
Multitasking at its finest.
There you go. That's what the company asked for.
Absolutely. Great job. Great job. So, yeah, at this point, Cole, what you got for sign off?
Keep having fun. That's it. Just keep having fun.
Okay. Well, mine would probably be whatever you do, don't never unless you will. Mad Dog out.
Later.